Welcome back, traders, to another weekly Forexcast. All right, I hope everybody had a great weekend. And let's get right to it. So last week we were able to catch some solid trades, a few solid trades in the pay group. Some of these pairs really picked up steam, and some pairs not so much. It was a lot of ranging going on in a lot of pairs. So if you're looking at starting with the dollar index, let's see what we have in store. So you can see the dollar index ended the week like it was a bearish week. This move up here, like it started the week up here with this evening star on the daily. After seeing that, I was expecting downward, a bearish wave to the downside. All right, so we got that. Now price is back at this previous structure. Support here, and it was resistance here. So right here, this is a breaker bounce type structure. So if price holds support here in this week, we hold support, we could see a bullish correction up on the dollar. Overall, I'm still bearish long term on the dollar. Like if price was to, let me see, if price was to actually break this structure right here, like break this structure down here, we could see price actually continue to the downside. All right, but this bounce to the upside, if it holds, it could be short lived. So be careful. Like I will watch this shoulder because this could potentially pull up and create a head and shoulders and just continue. But if we see some type of bullish price action, we just trade in line with the market. All right, so you'll see the dollar pairs move in line with that. Well, the majority of the majors probably will just trade in line with the dollar. All right, so if we see this here, GA had a nice sell-off. I remember we had this breakdown. We caught this correction. We were able to catch some of this sell. All right, so price had a nice breaking structure, breaking the trend line impulsively. So now we are due for some type of correction, it seems like. This daily candle closed bullish engulfing. All right. So for me, I'm expecting this to give us a deeper pullback to the upside before any more potential downside. So something like this, if price actually pulls down early, Sunday, Monday, early in the week, maybe going to London, if we get a pullback, this could be a pullback to just give you a continued bullish correction up. Now, if price continues up, once it corrects up here, around 1.80 will be a area I will be looking for potential break or bounce, either a bearish rejection for continuation down, or if price continues to pump above that, we could see this go even higher. All right. So for now, I would say look for possibly a correction up. On this correction up, we could see price continue down because price is still overall looking bearish right now. GBP So GBP has been ranging, really for the past week or so. It's ranging at this level after such a strong sell-off. All right, so now seeing how this daily candle closed, we got a nice bullish pin bar. All right, could be signifying some type of bullish move up. All right, so looking at this, price is still ranging. So if price come down and still hold support, that could be opportunity to trade up because right now you see this is just a range. So price is setting up to break the range in either direction. All right, so if we get a break above this range here, we could likely see price give a deeper correction up. Long term, or the bigger move for me is to the downside. Because look, we stuck at the strong, impulsive, bearish engulfing sell off on the weekly. All right, so any buy, I believe, is just a correction. Now, if price comes down and just breaks this structure, then on the pullbacks or retest, I would look for a continuation down. All right, but if it has a bigger move up, I would just let it correct. And then on a deeper correction up, I would look for my potential sell-offs with that. Keep in mind, we do have some fundamentals this week. Looking at investing.com, we got the GBP average earnings index on Tuesday, climate change or claimant count change for GBP, NZD, CPI, retail sales for Australian dollar on Tuesday. It's heavy interest rate decisions for the CAD, Canadian dollar. All right, governor speaking on Wednesday for GDP. So it's a fundamental heavy week. Thursday should be a big week for a big day for euro. So you might see a lot of volume coming in the euro interest rate policy statement. All right. So at the end of the day, the fundamentals just drives what's on the chart, what's already usually priced in. It just accelerates the market. We got jobless claims, unemployment rate. on Thursday for the US dollar, and Friday, a lot of GBP as well. So we'll see if we can get some of these pairs that's been ranging, if we can finally get some stronger moves on these pairs. All right. So for GBP Chef, it's either I'm going to see if we're going to get the breakout or break of structure, then look for pullbacks and continuation down, or see if price wants to hold and give us a deeper pull up. Then, we'll see how far it wants to pull back before we get that continued sell opportunity. All right. Euro USD. Euro USD is in an interesting level. All right. Euro USD. I actually was looking for sales here last week, but price, played around this level, didn't do much movement at these highs. So now you can see overall on the weekly, price is in this downtrend. All right. Strong move, pullback, continued breakage. Now price is retesting previous structure resistance. It was support here. All right. And it was a strong level that was broken. So looking at the daily, we had a double top right here before price broke down at that structure level, retesting previous structure support. All right. So now back at this level, it's either we're going to get a break or bounce. I'm anticipating us to get a corrective wave down. All right. I would still like to see that, but this is how we can look at this. So if we go to like the 2 hour, all right, I will take a trend line here, counter trend line, so like right here, up through, all right, giving us a tighter trend line. So if price, going into this week, if we start to see price break structure and break down here, all right, that could be our indication that price is holding resistance here. All right, so on the pullbacks, we could look for continued sales. All right, so I would say watch for a breakdown of this structure. If that happens on the pullbacks, look for those continued moves to the downside. And if this is a sharp move, if this gives us an impulsive move, that's even better. It's even stronger indication that we're going to continue down. But let's see if we can get a pullback first before we catch that move, that wave. All right. And then we got our outer trend line here. So if price continues to break down and breaking this trend line too, then you can just keep just riding this wave down. And if that's the top, we can see price at the bare minimum come back down to this low around 1.1710. All right. But if it break through there, we can see price come all the way back down to this structure support to the left, this demand level to the left, around 1630, 1620-ish type area. All right, so that's EU. GJ, looking at GJ, I think I have an indication of what we're going to do, because if we look at this, price on this daily, price really has been in the uptrend and on a weekly. So if we see price bounced up, pulled back, forming a higher low, pulled up, forming a high, pull back down. So this is a potential higher low. So price was ranging, and then it finally gave us some type of impulsive candle. On the daily, this is the daily chart. So we got a nice bullish engulfing close right here. That could be an indication that we're going to see a continued move up. So on a pullback here, all right, if I get a pullback down here, maybe to roughly around 150, that could be a potential opportunity for a continued move up. All right, up towards 151.8 or maybe even towards 152.5. Okay, so price, we got this counter trend line, price actually broke out of the trend line. So we could see a retest for continuation. We got the blue moving average crossing over. That's what I like to see as well. All right, so we'll see how price looks, but we could see something like this, a correction, and then continue move up for a bullish wave. All right. USD CAD. USD CAD has been giving us that correction. All right. Nice bearish rejection on that lower high. We caught some of this sell. All right. It hit our TP in the private Discord. So now we want to see how price react here, because we could see another bearish wave before any sell-off. Because price initially broke structure, then the pull back up, lower high broke down. So as long as this high holds, this could be just a correction to give us one more bearish wave down before we see any bullish move. GU. So GU had a move up from this support level. We caught some of this sell, actually. We caught the sell. So at the support level, it held support and bounced back up to structure. All right. So now this could possibly be a lower high, because you see lower high structure here, lower high structure here. We could take a trend line right there. All right. Let's see what the weekly close like. Yeah, so the weekly was was retesting that structure. So this is an interesting level. This could be, see, we have lower high structure, lower high structure. This is like lower low structure, but it formed a double bottom. All right, so really, we want to see how price react at this level. So if we get a sharp sell-off from this level, all right, and if you get a retest, a pullback, holding below, and you get like a bearish flag set up, you could look to take that back down to support. All right, but the price continues to break above here, breaking out of this trend line, breaking above structure, and pullbacks and hold support, that can be a continued move up. All right, so I'm leaning towards a bearish wave back down. All right. All right, so all right, so looking at Euro NZD, Euro NZD was a nice, this buy was what was called out like 2 weeks ago. All right, had a nice move up. So instead of breaking that level, it formed a double top right here. It had a nice sell-off. All right, big bearish, big impulse. But if you're looking at this on a daily, this could be a higher low forming. We back at this level that it bounced from before. All right, so if you look at this on a 4-hour chart, price came down, really gave a nice buy opportunity to end last week. I was able to catch some of this. Didn't get that out, but I caught some of that buy to end the week. So now this is what we're looking at. Price probably is going to pull back. But let's say price pulls back. Even if it pulls back all the way back down to this low, if it holds support, pulls back and holds above that low, we could see a bigger move up. All right. All right. So let's go to the daily. Yeah, so it's either price will pull back and hold, or if we continue to get a break above structure, you just catch these pullbacks to continue to move up. So NZD USD, it's one of the top of my list. All right. Overall, we can see for this week, especially we got NZD news. Overall, we can see price had a nice respect from the supply zone, nice sharp sell. Now this is our pullback. All right, impulse, correction, impulse, or impulse, correction, continuation. All right, this daily just closed. Look at this on the daily. This could be forming a higher low. This is our high. All right, this is our lower high. This was our lower low. All right, so price could be forming a lower high right here. The daily close, we back at this structure level. If you look at this structure, it was resistance here. It was support structure here. It was support structure here. Bounced up and then broke it. So now this daily candle, I want to say that this is a railroad pattern. I want to say it's not perfect, but to me, it looks like a railroad, all right? Which is a bearish indication on the retest, lower high potential. So I would look at this on a 4-hour. So if this continues to hold resistance here, you see this at a previous level where it sold off before. All right, so we just watching structure. So if this continues to sell down, right, holding below this level, then on the pullbacks, I would say look for continued sell pressure. Like this really could come all the way back down to this low of support. All right, CHF JPY. This was a move that we caught. All right, in the supply level. Price is still in the supply level. So on a weekly, you see, we still at this level of huge sellers. All right, so this is a breaker bounce level. We caught about 80 pips or so last week on this. We caught some of this move down. All right, but you see price pulled right back up. It pulled right back up. So take this. So we caught some of this impulse move down. Now this is a correction. This could be a correction just to continue. So I would say watch this level, see if the daily candles close still below this level, you can see that move continue to the downside. But if it comes up and breaks the structure, then that could be an indication that it's going higher. NZD CHF. So NZD CHF was another pair that I went over a last weekly analysis. I was saying that we see the structure to the downside, but this was likely pulling up for a correction before continuing. So now this could be a higher low. All right. I mean, lower high. So this could be a lower high forming. If you look at the daily chart, price came up, gave us that bearish engulfing candle. So that's a signifying that the sellers are back in control, all right, on this lower high. Trend line had a nice rejection from my trend line as well. So I'm still bearish here. All right. It's already selling off. I wouldn't chase price here. All right. I don't like to trade Sunday, so I like to let things develop going into Monday. So if this pulls back some on a pullback opportunity, you could get the continued pullback opportunity for sales. All USD. So AU came down to this level of support, held support, right? After seeing a candle like this on the daily, this bullish pin bar, I was anticipating for price to hold and go and bounce up. All right, that's a sign that price is likely just a stop hunt and price is going to hold and bounce. So it continued to the upside from there. All right, but this is lower high structure and this is a high. So this could potentially be a lower high forming to give us another move down. All right, so if we look at this on the 4 hour, it's basically retesting previous structure that it had sellers from before. So this could be like a bearish order structure. Some call it a bearish order block, where price comes to respect that same level of sellers and just sells off from supply. All right. So if we see this continue to hold here, all right, I could take a little trend line here. But if this continues to sell down, I would say on the pullbacks, opportunities, look for continued bearish pressure. GBP NZD. This was a nice sell-off last week as well, similar to Euro NZD. But if you look on the daily, price has been in the uptrend. Higher, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high. So now we're potentially at another higher, potentially at another higher low. All right. So if we look at this on the daily chart, we got a bullish engulfing. So this came down to this level of support, held support, bounced up. So it gave us this bullish engulfing on the daily. So it's a lot of NZD fundamentals this week. NZD is looking like it's going to be bearish this week. So if that's the case, we could continue to see GN pump up. But I wouldn't chase price here. I would see if price wants to pull back. All right. So if we get something like if price has a nice correction to the downside, it gives a nice correction, retesting this structure down here, maybe around 1.925. All right. Then I will see if this holds, we could see this correct to just give us another move up. All right. Because after seeing that bullish engulfing candle, that's showing me that the buyers are in control. All right. So let's see how that react. Euro GBP, last one. So if you look at this on the weekly, so one or two things can happen because looking at this on the weekly chart, we had a nice bullish engulfing candle formed at this level of demand. Look to the left, huge buyers, right? This is a nice demand level. So price overall, I believe the biggest move is to the upside. But if I'm looking at this on a daily chart, it's looking interesting because I like the price action for possibly a correction down. Price came up to this structure. All right. This is previous structure. Because if you look to the left, it was support or demand structure here. It was resistance structure here on the retest. All right. So now we're back at that level. So of course, for us to continue up, we want to see a break above that structure and just for us to continue. But if we look at this daily candle that formed, this is a nice bearish shooting star candle. That's normally an indication that we're going to see continued sell-off. All right. So, but any sell-off on Euro GBP, I believe is just a correction to give us a bigger move up. All right. So if this continues to hold below this breakdown, we could see this continue to pull up. So I would look at this 2 hour. All right, so this is something I would look at with EG. I would say let's see, it could correct. You know, this is the high that it had an impulsive move from. So if this pulls back and holds, you know, you could look to trade this breakdown for the correction. All right, because GBP looked like we could get a bullish correction this week. So if that happens, we can see EG, you know, pull back maybe, and then just give us one more move down. But overall, looking at the weekly, this will be a short-term correction for likely to continue bigger moves to the upside. All right. All right, so those are the pairs I'm going to cover for now. If you're in a private Discord, I will be sending out updates and analysis throughout the week. If there's any signal opportunities or trades I see that I'm hopping in, I'll be sure to send it out to you all. Be sure to like, subscribe, and just stay tuned for what we have coming. And check out the fxwave.com if you want to plug in with us in our private community.